and brothers, this is Reverend Satchmo getting ready to beat out this mellow sermon for you. My text this evening is when the saints go marching in. Here come Brother Hickenbottom down the aisle with his trombone. Blow it, boy.
Alright, so this other time in my life that I experienced a miracle. I mean, there's been like several miracles in my life. Some of you know that I was diagnosed with postpartum depression after my son was born. But short before that, when I was pregnant with my son, my husband and I had just come back from Germany. My husband we found out maybe 2 weeks before my husband was to get out of the military that we were pregnant with my son. Neither one of us had a job, so things were kind of bad before the whole postpartum depression thing. And we went through some serious problems. Had to go get some help and whatnot. And I was really down. And one day we were going down the street, and I'm thinking, God, I asked God, why are we going through this? Because it seemed like the worst thing in the world. And I have been through worse. I really have been through worse. But, you know, sometimes the problems you have seem bad no matter what you've been through. It seems like the worst. So, I asked God that, and I couldn't understand. And why? And I felt so unloved, and I'm like, do you even love me, God? And when I asked God that, I looked up, and there on a street corner, and I'm not lying, was a woman holding a sign that said, God loves you. And this woman's mission was to let people know that. And so, you know, seen her around a couple times and whatnot, and that meant a lot to me. And then every time, shortly after I had my son, you know, and on the day I was diagnosed with postpartum depression, major depression, they said, with postpartum depression issues and post-traumatic stress issues, and I had problems with the drugs that they gave me that caused me to hallucinate. And I was a wreck. And I was like, oh, I was so scared. I had this little baby, and you hear all these horror stories of these women, and I was just like hurting inside. I'm like, God, how could you love me and put me through this? Do you really love me? Again, and I look up, and there is the woman on that same street corner, and it didn't dawn on me, you know, well, holding her sign that says, God loves you. And, okay, so I see her a couple more times, yada yada, and I get a job at a school where I actually dread going every day, and I'm, you know, on a medication, I'm doing better. My son is about a year old at this time, and I don't have the best boss in the world at this job. In fact, this lady would call you names, and she was an elementary student. This was an elementary school, and you know, it was just it was a bad situation. I was very unhappy in this job, and I dreaded every day going to work. And I loved working with the kids. It was not the kids at all. It was the grown-ups I was working with and whatnot. Not all of them. But, so I'm thinking, so I'm going to work, and I happen to, like, forget, you know, happen to have to take a detour or something and go a different way, and I normally didn't go by that particular corner. So I didn't think anything of it. I was going by the God Loves You lady's corner. And I'm thinking, God, I can't do this today. And I look up, why should I go do this today? And I look up, and there's the lady with the sign, the big red sign with white letters, God loves you. And I look up at, I have a sunroof in my little, what I like to call my blue zoo, because it's a blue Isuzu, and the clouds, and I was thinking, God, you really do love me. And then, at that time, don't ask me, I did not have my radio on before. My radio comes on, and the song, Someone That Sees Love, is on the radio. So yeah, gonna have to edit this down. Alright, but that's my story. I do believe in God. Alright, good question. Peace. Tschüss.
When the saints go marching in,